Welcome to Toffee Blue Opposition View again. Yes, I am still Gerry, and with me today I have Alain again from Lyon. Welcome, Alain. It's good to talk to you.
Hi,
again.
Gerry. Thanks for having me again in your show.
Hey, it was an absolute pleasure the first time, so I'm sure this will be the same. All right. Let's get into this. It's an interesting time to be an Everton supporter. It's funny, I feel like our two teams have kind of taken off in opposite directions since we played. We were already on a downward trajectory when we started playing you, and then ever since we played, you guys got a couple of wins in the meantime, and now you're ranked third in the league.
Right.
I mean, so...
I mean, this is football. we were, almost depressed the other day, and now we're number 3 in the French league, which is somewhat, I would say, it's a bit ridiculous, but that's how it goes. So we stop complaining about the coach or anything. So for the time being, we just enjoy being number 3 in the league, and that's it. But unfortunately, I've seen that it's not really the same for Everton, because you guys really. It's interesting that we are able to talk though, because so many things happened
right.
for both sides. I've seen that Koeman had been fired. So you have a new coach. And,
he's an interim manager. He was a U23 manager. I mean, he's done a good job of kind of getting the team morale up, and he's trying to instill a kind of a more of an Evertonian spirit, but still not winning games. Still lost 2 games. So
yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. The last game was Leicester, I think.
Right. Where first 30 minutes we looked really bad. Alain.
Yeah. But we've been able. I don't know if you remember the other time I was saying that winning against Monaco maybe would give us some momentum, and we'd be able to win that game against Everton, and that's exactly what happened.
Right.
This is typically the type of game that we wouldn't have won before, probably. To be honest, a draw would have been quite logical to me. I don't know about you guys, but I think that each team had its own, half of the game. I mean, we were probably a bit better in the first half, and we were better in the second half. We were very lucky that Traoré was able to score that incredible goal with the back heel. I mean, it was so unexpected, and we're really grateful for that. But probably another draw would have been logical. So we kind of built. We've been able to build on these couple of victories, including in the French league, and so now we feel much better now. We are quite in a good position in Europa League, so we are really looking forward to that game against the Toffees. But that's something I guess we're going to have the opportunity to talk about. But I was kind of wondering if Everton. I mean, there's kind of an emergency situation for you guys in the English league right now. Because I've seen that you are in the relegation area. I mean, you're number 18 or 18, can't remember. Yeah. So
you're right, 18th. It's pretty bad.
How do you see it? Yeah. Can only be better in the future, I guess. But how do you consider this Europa League now? I mean, is it still a priority, do you think, for the club, or what's your impression?
That's a great question. That is a great question, because I think that varies from supporter to supporter. I know the guys that I talk to, David and Edward, that I make the videos with, I think both of them see Europa League as still a possibility. There's still a slight chance to advance to the next round. Now, more realistic supporters who play the odds would say, you know what, that dream is over for this year. We need to focus solely on the league. I'm usually an optimistic guy. I don't like writing off your chances until they're completely written off. So I'm hoping that our manager actually fields a team that has a chance to win. I'm hoping he's going to try to be competitive and not just sort of play all of the youth who have very little experience.
Okay.
I'm hoping we try to win the game because I think the manager really needs. I think he wants that. I think he wants to put together some cohesion to build some stability. So I think he may play our strongest players. Whether that does anything, Alain, I have no idea. But,
Okay, yeah.
But yeah.
But it's interesting to hear that because, to be perfectly honest, I think a French team being in your position in the league, I mean, the kind of emergency situation, as I was saying, a French club would probably not really play the Europa League, and concentrate and focus more on the league to make sure that they won't be relegated, I think. So it's interesting to know that you guys, I mean, at the same time, to me, it's quite English. I mean, you just never give up, you just always focus on what you have to do and so on. And even if you have only, I've seen the rankings in Europa League and you guys have only 1 point.
1 point.
in 3 games. So you're last in the group. But still, I mean, you won't be coming to Lyon just because you have to come. I mean, you really intend to play the game and try to win the game. You still have hopes.
I think Unsworth wants to spark a winning streak. I think he does. I think he wants, because we had a cup game last week at Chelsea, and normally a lot of times when English teams are in the bottom 3 and they're not playing well, they'll just put out a team that has no chance of playing their next game. All right? And that's a typical thing. Now, to be honest with you, I mean, he put out a pretty solid squad, and we outplayed Chelsea second half. Like, should have won that game. Should have won that game, which was crazy to say that right now, as poor as we've been this season. But we look great. So I could see him trying to actually put together an actual team that could compete with you, at least try to compete with you, because your team is so quick. They are rapid. Their speed is just... That's like, you'll see when you watch the video on the sign in the back here, it says, play your slow players, please. Because that's the only way. Because you have one of the quicker teams that I've seen, period.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So I have a question. You? So you talked about how you're kind of chilling out a little bit on critiquing the manager. With this little good patch, do you feel like everyone else is kind of doing the same as you and giving Genesio just a little bit of leeway? Or are most people still kind of grumbling that he hasn't found a style and the players don't know their role? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you were mentioning style, and it's all about it. I mean, style has not changed since the last time we met. So there's no real reason to change our minds, except that we've stopped doing draws. Now we win games, so you know how it works. I mean, we win games. There are less complaint and less criticism to Genesio, which is logical. But we know that if the team ever loses again, or if there's another draw streak, kind of results that are not really satisfying from our side, we know that criticism will be back in the in the news and on Twitter and on forums and so on. So I mean, Genesio has been able to kind of save his ass so far. The thing is that we have the President Jean-Michel Aulas, the president of Lyon, said a few weeks ago that he was waiting for the game against Saint-Etienne, which, if you remember, the last time I was saying that this is our Everton-Liverpool game. This is our big derby here. So this is kind of the game of the game of the year here. So he was waiting for that game to decide on Genesio's future as a manager, as a coach for the team. I don't know if this is still valid. I mean, because Genesio has done better. So I mean, lately, better results. So we'll see. But if we ever lose against Saint-Etienne this Sunday, the coming Sunday, I know that criticism will be back, and
Right.
this is quite, fragile. The situation for Genesio is still fragile. We were lucky that we've been able to win against Everton. We were lucky to be able to win against Monaco just before that. We had an easy win against Troyes about a week ago. The thing is that we've just played two weak teams in the French league, so it helps building, momentum and confidence and so on. The two teams, we had two clean sheets, which had not happened for some time. Before that, as I was saying, we score goals, but we also we have many goals that are scored against us too.
I remember.
Yeah, and this has stopped for the last two games. We had two clean sheets, so we're knocking on wood and hope it goes on like that. But Genesio's situation is still, it's not. The idea of changing the coach during the winter break could be back on the news if we have another bad streak or draw streak or whatever, if we're not happy for any reason. Because the thing is that, as you were mentioning style, and the style is still the same, and it's not very satisfying from my point of view.
Okay.
So, anyway.
So I have to ask you about this. Because if I didn't, it would be irresponsible. I'm an Everton supporter, you're a Lyon supporter. We have to talk some about the last game. We have to talk about the last match.
I was about to ask you.
Yeah, it would be so irresponsible not to. Clearly, things got way more physical in the first half than they were in the second half than they were in the first half.
The second,
I think Everton came out behind and they wanted to play a little more physical. This was kind of capped off when Ashley Williams got legally bumped off the ball by your keeper. It was Lopez. And legally bumped off the ball. And I think he was thinking, I got pushed. I don't like that. So he turns around and pushes him illegally, deserves a yellow card, and then it just it jumps off. It's on. Your players, our players, and then one of our fans comes up with a baby in his arm.
Yeah, which is
crazy. I have
crazy.
zero explanation for how that happens. And I think he was actually blaming one of the stewards for letting him through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
probably. But it's interesting. The thing is that considering the whole game, it's interesting that first Lyon was better in the first half because I think there were less intensity and it was a bit less physical than in the second half. And then in the second half, Everton, as you said, started playing more physically. Mm-hmm. And this is not something we are very much used in the French league because the difference between the French league and the English league probably is that the referees are more strict in the French league. Mm-hmm. When I say more strict, I mean they tend to use their whistle whenever there is a small foul or if you see what I want to say. Okay. If you see what I mean, and there's more freedom, I think, in the Premier League. Mm. You guys can be more physical without the referee having to use his whistle all the time. Mm. So somehow Everton started playing in a more physical, and I tend to say maybe in a more English way in the second half. And we were a bit disturbed by that. I think probably they've done a bit more than this. Just more than being more physical. Maybe there were some moves and some things that we've seen on the pitch that were really, could have been
a little bit more than they were recognized by the referee.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, based on that, I think Ashley Williams was just in the tone of the game, in the tone of the second half when he went a bit too far, of course, when he pushed our goalkeeper. But he's the captain of the team, so that's even more surprising from a captain that's supposed to to stay calm and so on.
Yeah, that's very true.
And avoid this kind of thing from his teammates, and he did it. The captain did it. So Well, the thing, it pushed the goalkeeper, and then he started the fight. I mean, pushing the goalkeeper is one thing. Starting a fight is
Right.
a bit different. We've seen the pictures. It was like, to me, it was looking like he thought he was on a ring or in a boxing heaven or something. We've seen pictures quite amazing.
Right.
So the most surprising thing for us was that he only got a yellow card.
Right.
In European games, I mean, I guess you've seen as many as I have. So the referees tend to not really like this kind of thing. So we were kind of expecting a red card, to be honest. So we were surprised that it was only a yellow card, which means that he will probably be playing on Thursday. I don't know if you have any.
We're not sure about that yet either. With our interim coach, it could be. I've predicted him to play, but you know what? I know about as much as the lamp that's sitting beside me. So it's hard to say.
But I must say that the club of Everton had a great reaction when they decided. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but they decided to ban the assaulting fan with the child. So I think that was the best thing to do anyway. So yeah. So I don't know. We just hope that things will be better on Thursday in terms of good. I would say the players can be aggressive, but in a good way. Not in a mean way. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if what will be the instructions from the Everton coach about this. But anyway, we know from our side that we will have to play our game anyway,
right,
and try not to to respond to any provocation or aggressive playing or this kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, I mean we are in a good position to qualify, I believe. So because of this, or thanks to this, I think we have no reason to be exaggerately aggressive on Thursday. I mean, we just have to play the game and see what happens.
So, as far as your lineup is concerned,
we don't have any injured player, as far as I know, this time. Mariano should be able to play.
Right.
He played this weekend, so he should be able to play. Fekir will be playing, of course. Memphis, you remember the other day I was saying that Memphis, well, he was benched, but there was a competition between him and a young player, Awar, young academy. So Awar is kind of made his way to the starting 11 in the last weeks. So we'll probably see Awar as well. I mean, this is something that will surprise me if we didn't see him. But the way we play is still a 4-2-3-1. It's been like this for quite a long time now. So yeah, the attacker is Mariano, of course, and behind him you have offensive midfielders. You have, of course, Fekir as the playmaker, and then either Memphis or Awar on the left, and on the right you have Traoré. Traoré will be playing for sure,
right?
I guess. He has almost no competition. His competitor is Cornet, but Cornet is quite weak, to be honest. So there's no match. He's no match to Traoré. And then for defensive midfielders, we should be able to play with Touzard. He's the most defensive of our midfielders, and probably Ndombele, which I mentioned the other day.
I remember him. I remember you talking about him. I watched him specifically when he came in the game. I know he subbed in against us.
Yeah. So yeah, and the defensive line should be the same, pretty much the same. I mean, we have Morel and Marcelo as center backs, and we have could be Marsal or Mendy on the left. Mendy is better than Marsal in my opinion. But Marsal played this weekend, and he did a great game. He played a great game, so I don't know. And on the right, it should be Rafael or Tete, the ex-Ajax player.
Right, I remember that too. Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is that if we are if the coach decide to play more offensively, we could play with Marçal on one side and Raphael on the other side, because these two guys are more offensive.
Okay.
And of course, if he decide that we should not take too many risks and so on, we could play with Mendy and Tete. So I don't know, we'll see. And of course, the goalkeeper remains Lopez. Whatever happens, he's our number one. And yeah, so that's all I can say. I mean, so far, I mean, there should not be any big surprise for Thursday, to be honest.
Understood. Yeah, I'm curious to see how Genesio will change your team, and what Unsworth's going to do for us, and the adjustments that each team will make, because we've seen you before and you've seen us before. Alain, thanks so much for coming on. It's really good to talk to you again. You're nice guy as always, and I guess
thank you.
Here's hoping that that Thursday's match is incident free, and that
exactly,
and that we get to see some quality football.
Yeah. We at Social Gun, we made a communique to let everyone know that we should, whatever happened in the first game, everyone should stay quiet and so on, just focus on what's happening on the pitch and this kind of thing, So
hopefully people will listen to that kind of thing, on both sides,
Exactly. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks so much. I hope I get to talk to you some other time. All right.
Thanks, Gerry.
Right.
Good luck.
Thank you. You as well. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
That's our Toffee Blue opposition view. We learned a lot again. If you're liking the videos, please subscribe. It makes us feel warm and fuzzy inside. Like, comment. What do you think about our conversation with Alain? Okay? Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.